Hi, welcome to Scofield Farm. I'm Carice, and today I'm going to finally give you a July garden tour. Things are wild and crazy and beautiful in here, and I am so excited to share it with you. We live in Northern California, Zone 9B, and we get to garden year round. And I have been recovering from both a shoulder surgery this year and some back issues. So please forgive ahead of time how wild and crazy the garden looks. I have not got to prune as much as I normally would. Okay, let's get started. We are going to start with what I often call garden bed number one. And I'm going to show you, we've got tomatoes in here, we have a zucchini, we have onions I really need to harvest. They have been ready for over a month, but we were in Guatemala visiting my husband's family. I will link to the video to that up here for you and in the description below. And we got behind on some of those things, and then I hurt my back. So the onions still are sitting here ready for us to harvest them. Right here, you will see onions perfectly ready to harvest. In fact, do you want to grab one of those onions?
I do.
Go for it. Just pull it on out. Yep. Beautiful onion. We have quite a few. It's not huge, but it is perfect for eating. So as she harvests onions, I'm going to show you the rest of the bed. We have tomatoes on the back side. These are all my paste tomatoes in this bed. And on the front side, we actually have lots of summer squash, zucchini, yellow summer squash, special new one. I'm blanking on the name, but I'll put it up there. There is a zucchini to pick right there. We need someone to get a garden shears and pick that sucker for me. Looking good. Beautiful zucchini. I like to grow my squash and zucchini in like tomato cages. It keeps them a little easier to find. However, this one went a little crazy, and I believe that down in there is a hidden squash. Yep, right there. We got to get that one. It has gotten pretty big. So on this side, we have the tomatoes. As I said, they're paste tomatoes. Some of them are just starting to ripen, and we've been picking them as they start to blush because we've had some critter stealing some tomatoes from me. We have this giant sage in this path. It's actually almost impossible to walk here because of it. So we used to have two bushes this size, and we got rid of one, and my goodness, this one is doing double duty. We have lots of flowers here and there. Here is a zinnia, another zinnia, both about to bloom. I just love flowers in the garden. Okay, next we're going to do the second garden bed, which on this side, we have pickling cucumbers that are almost ready. Oh my goodness. We direct sowed them this year because of just all of the extra we had to do after my shoulder surgery, that they're a little bit behind normal years, but you can see little cucumbers growing right here and all these different leader vines that need to be kind of encouraged upward instead of outward. I believe we do have a cucumber on there. Oh my goodness, I discovered a ready cucumber too. It's right down here. Oh my goodness. Yay for hiding cucumbers. Can you even see it? You got to pick it for us. Yay. That is our first cucumber of the season. Oh my goodness. I am so excited for fresh dill fermented pickles. I have a whole video about those. They're a favorite way to have pickles. Nice. Okay, back to what's in this garden bed. We have beautiful chamomile, just so lightly pretty flowering. We have more tomatoes. We actually have, oh gosh, all different kinds. This peach tomato, we had one yesterday for the first time. It is very tasty when they're fully ripe. Brad's Atomic Grape is actually one of my very favorite tomatoes. You can see it in there. They're kind of a psychedelic tie-dye, so delicious. We have in every tomato bed some sort of basil. This bed has, well, besides all the chives, it actually has a lot of Emily basil, which is the Italian variety that I like to grow personally. It is so good, and if you harvest basil by pinching back at like the elbows, it will get wider and wider and produce all season long. You've got to see these flowers. Oh my word. I have got to make a bouquet and use those. Those are absolutely stunning. My very first year for these. On the end of this bed, we have some eggplant. This is like the west side of the bed. I was hoping they'd kind of grow up and give some natural shade to other plants, but they're still fairly small, not quite producing, though I do see the start of a flower right there. I love alyssum. I cut this one back drastically. It was very overgrown and woody, and it looks like it is reflowering just beautifully. I'm so happy about that. And I have a lot of celery in this bed. I grew celery here last year on the north side of some of my tomatoes, and this is a really pretty Chinese pink celery. You can actually see the pink stems. And then I have celery de Aline, which was delicious last year. I'm growing it again. You can see some of my tomatoes definitely need to be tied up, but when I'm working with gardening with different injuries, you just got to let some things do the wild thing. And at the end of this bed, we have chard. We love chard. We grow chard year round, and we just harvested from this chard for our lasagna dinner tonight in honor of a July birthday. Oh, it's going to be so delicious. This garden is wild and crazy. Next, I want to show you my strawberry bed. Tons of strawberries. My kids check it every couple days just to comb through it and bring in baskets of strawberries. It's everbearing. I don't know the name, but I know it's quite delicious, and we eat off of it like for 8-9 months of the year it produces. It is looking a little beat up from just the heat and the sun. I need to check my water. I think we're watering every day, but sometimes when I get out here and things look a little fried, I got to check the water one more time and make sure it's all okay. The next bed over here, we have falling down tomatoes again. You know, guys, tomatoes will grow horizontal if you don't stake them up, because that's how they actually grow wild in nature. And apparently we're going for the all natural look this year in my garden. Not on purpose, but that is how things are. So many blooming leeks. That's what all of these little puff heads are. This is like a permanent leek bed for us, and the ones that we couldn't get harvested, we just let bloom. The bees love them. They're pretty. We have an undergrowth of tomatillos, and then this was supposed to be trellising tomatoes. As I said, I'm going to need some help with getting this up. The back has not been my friend lately, and this tomato is just doing whatever she wants to do. Over here, besides all the tomatillos you see rambling around, we do have Thai basil. I love Thai basil. This bed has got so much Thai basil. Thai basil, calendula. This is a pretty new one to me called Snow Princess or Snow Queen. I really like it. This little squash thing I have here is a type of acorn squash, and I don't see fruit on it yet, but I also need to tame those wandering tendrils that are kind of deciding they're going to also be wild and do whatever they want. I always hear that the best medicine for the garden is the gardener, and this garden has not had me as much as it should this year. So this garden thinks that it is in control. I have so much Thai basil in here. We have already done a humongous harvest of it. I dry it, I use it in curries. I also love to use it in teas. It's got a little bit of like a licorice flavor to it. It's absolutely amazing, but it's going to just grow and grow and grow, and I'm going to keep harvesting as much as I possibly can because it's one of our very favorite herbs that we grow in the garden. By the way, would you mind liking and subscribing to this video? If you click the bell, you will get notifications of when we have new videos, but even just liking the video actually helps YouTube show more people our content who might actually enjoy it. So anyway, I'll get back to the garden tour, but wanted to throw that out there for you if you'd like to help us out. I also have a beautiful Black Beauty eggplant hiding in there. I like to kind of like multi-sow in my garden, not just all of one type of vegetable or fruit, but I like to intersperse it. So you'll see more onions that are ready to harvest. As I said, I'm just super behind on harvesting. You'll see wild and crazy tomatoes going all over here, and even some lettuce that has gone to seed that I need to actually pick. I've saved tons of lettuce seed this year. It's one of the easiest things to regrow from seed. We even have some blooming radishes. So the theme of the garden this year is wild and crazy. We just kind of go with it. Sometimes I feel like either I can laugh at things or I can cry. so I'm going to laugh. I am not going to cry about a garden that's being super productive, even if it looks a little unruly. This right here, my friends, is a roselle. I always want to say Rose de Jamaica because that's the name of the drink it makes in Guatemala, but it is a Jamaican roselle. It's a type of hibiscus, and I grow this for my husband's favorite drink that he grew up drinking in Guatemala called Rose de Jamaica. And this is just beautiful. What happens is it gets really big, almost like a big bush kind of tree. And then right when it starts to cool off a little bit in the fall, it will produce flowers, and then it'll have things called calyx, which are like a rose hip. And the calic, the hip part of the flower, is what you harvest and dry out for the drink or for teas. It is a rather wild garden bed, but I would still say that it's actually very beautiful in its craziness. Directly across from it, we do have, you guessed it, more eggplant in this bed. Two different kinds. I believe this is new to me, Rosa Bianca eggplant. It's a striped one. I love little stripes and stuff in the garden, so we're going to try that one out. More chard in this bed. And then I also have beautiful zinnias. That one is like almost white. That is lovely. All my zinnias this year are from Save Seed, but I don't remember ever having something quite that color in the past. In this bed, we also have, well, there's supposed to be lots of beans, but only some of them have come up. Here's some that have come up. I feel like I need to water this bed as I'm out here checking it. Something is not quite right with my water. And this poor Alyssa, it's seen better days. We have beans over here, chard over here, and there's supposed to be beans all the way through this. So this is why I think this needs some water pretty badly. This is a new color of zinnia as well. It's like a salmony color. As I said, these are all from Save Seeds. I didn't have a salmon one. I'm going to save seeds from this year because I really like it. We've got some really spicy peppers in this bed. And some of them have peppers on them. The first little round, they will produce more if I go ahead and harvest these soon. So that is the plan. And then, as I said, I have some beans coming up. There really should be a lot more. So I'm going to have somebody give this a good watering and see what's up. This section has a lot more beans coming up, but still, as I said, I think I planted like 100 beans in this bed, bush beans, 3 different varieties. So we got to work on that. Got to work on the watering situation. Over here is one of the prettiest beds this year. It is full of flowers. It is full of peppers. Oh my goodness, you guys. I'm a sucker for these double bloom zinnias that are just so puffy. It has eggplant, as seems to be a theme in all my beds. It has loofah vining up the arch trellis. It has pumpkin vining up over here. It has so many peppers that are doing a lot better than I even realized. Like right down here, looks like I've got quite a few peppers to harvest. Oh my goodness. This is encouraging because I have not been in the garden a lot right now. And these peppers are truly packed and they even have more blossoms. So I'm going to need to somehow do a good harvest so they can produce more. Oh, look at that. So colorful and pretty. And these vines, I am a sucker for vines going over arches. So lovely. So many things are so lovely. What was the first one? You said Abraham Lincoln. Oh, thank you for picking them. We'll have to try that. I've never tasted Abe Lincoln, so I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, girl. This year I have a lot of volunteer zinnia in my path, and I just let it be. Last year we had so many volunteer sunflowers. I guess it's year of the zinnia, and that was the year of the sunflower. Although look at this gorgeous sunflower over here. I love the ones that are multi-head because I feel like they just bring more and more joy. If you deadhead them, they will keep producing even better. Oh my goodness, some of my chickens, I have some babies that are so much bigger than last time I saw them. That rooster, he was so small when I last noticed. How cute. This bed from this angle is just flower city and vines. And usually around this time of year, my favorite place in the garden is right under here where we get a little bit of shade. Over here, I had a video about harvesting our first grow bag potatoes, and we replanted, and they're already coming up. They're doing just great. And these are from organic grocery store potatoes that sprouted. I forgot about them. Our first round in this were actually seed potatoes from Tractor Supply, but these are just the ones that, got left in the cupboard. And this one, I see nothing, but every other bag looks really great. More gorgeous sunflowers. I am such a sucker for these, and I love when I see bee activity on them. This bed is on the other side of the arch trellis. It is packed full of heirloom tomatoes, and some are doing better than others, but here's a really big one. I think this is an Amana orange. It hasn't changed colors yet. I have celery all on the back side of here. And let's see. Oh, over here I have some Sart Relois, a little bit of sun scald, but these are really tasty, and these seem to be doing well this year too. And my cosmos are so tall and so pretty. I actually want to keep up on deadheading these so that they'll bloom all year, well, all season long. Before I go to the other side, I want to kind of show you, this was my old potato patch that had volunteer potatoes, and it looks like they're about ready to harvest. So we need to do another potato harvest from this bed. We have beautiful sunflowers, and this whole line of self-watering plants, self-watering containers are my asparagus. I would love to get a permanent bed for them, but right now that is what we've got, and it's worked for us. We got to harvest asparagus this year for the first time. Over here, we have basil in this tomato bed and some pretty royal carpet alyssum. And we have lots of tomatoes. As I said, they're kind of wild and unruly. It's what I could do this year. More zinnia. The paths are all zinnia, I tell you guys. At least there's happy colors in the garden. That is a mess. You'll also see real life gopher holes everywhere. And even though we got a trap, we have not trapped anything at all. Nothing. We've got nothing. We have some vines that have not gone up their side of the trellis. We'll have to weave them up there to encourage them. More calendula. I love calendula. And more vines. Oh my goodness. Vines everywhere. More tomatoes, more flowers. Ooh, look at that one. That's a pretty calendula. You like that pink? Pretty. And this vine, I didn't even remember. I think it might be butternut squash, but it's trying to come together with my tomatoes. Let's just kind of stick that up there to encourage it upwards and not into the tomatoes. There we go. You have your own space. Guys, I am a little overwhelmed giving this tour. I haven't been out here for the last week because my back has been giving me so many issues. So I'm seeing some of this the same time you do, going, oh dear, the tomatoes, they're falling over. Oh, but the good news is even a wild garden can still produce food to eat. And that's kind of what I'm going for this year, is we grow our garden to eat. That's really the reality. I love the pretty, I love the things looking all nice and dialed in, but really we grow for our family to eat. So if it's crazy and we're eating, the mission is still accomplished. Maybe next year it won't be so crazy. So I showed you guys when we had to plant sweet potatoes into a bag because of our gopher problem. Then grasshoppers ate all the tops. Well, we've had it covered with tulle and they are growing leaves again. Yes, we do have some random volunteers of like dill and mustards, but hey, the tulle from Joann's Fabric worked to save the majority of the sweet potatoes, so I am happy. It looks hopeful to get a harvest this year. Over here, we've got some blooming dill, and again, more of my old potato bed that is going to attempt to give me some potatoes as volunteers. Over here, we have a rambling volunteer squash. I don't even know what kind it is. If I made my best guess, it would be butternut because we grow a lot of butternut squash. That would be in the compost. We have more tomatoes. Guys, I think I planted like 60 tomatoes this year. So more unruly tomatoes. This bed actually looks the most organized, though not pruned. not laying on the ground. Of all of my tomato beds, this is one of my favorite basils. This is Tulsi basil, and it is the best tea, and it smells just amazing. Have you ever had Tulsi basil? Can you let me know in the comments? I dry tons and tons of it to have as tea. I actually like it as fresh tea too. And I'm like one of those people, coffee in the morning, herbal tea every night. Every night. It's like my bedtime ritual. Do you drink herbal tea to go to bed too? You'll have to let me know. Can't say no to volunteers, so that's why this path is full of strawberries. I mean, as I said, I got to get some order in the garden at some point here. Ooh, there's a bee on the Tulsi basil. Did I tell you guys we kept bees? We love bees, and we've kept bees for 2.5 years. And whenever I see one of my bees in the garden, I get really excited because that's the whole reason we keep bees. Honey is like a bonus. Having them in my garden, pollinating my plants is like the main reason I got them. So it's working. This part of the garden bed, just a little bit of calendula, a little baby's breath I stuck right in there. And then we'll come over here. Oh my goodness. This is my first year growing Trobacino squash, and we've got a couple already forming. That's pretty. We got some more of the vines we got to like tuck up there to make them not decide to take over my pepper bed. Uh-oh. There we go. Oh, that's so pretty. You got to see this. We have Trobacino hanging all over already. That's so fun. Even though vines are unruly, I love when they go up the trellis. This bed with the Trobacino squash is also like my mild pepper bed. We have, ooh, look at those. Really good mild peppers. We have this is a sugar rush peach that overwintered, and it is so productive. They don't overwinter here very often, but that one kind of accidentally overwintered. We have lots of flowers in this bed because I love flowers, cosmos, zinnias. We have echinacea, which is purple coneflower, and then peppers all the way through the middle of this bed, all the way down, 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 down. We have both bunching onions and chives in here, which are a little messy and charred yet again, but I'm very excited about these peppers. Look what we found! We have some lemon cucumbers. I would say those two are ready. You can wait till they're really yellow, or you can do them when they're green with a tiny bit of yellow. So you need to get a clippers and you need to clip them. That's the best way. Here's the other side of the same bed. My husband is trying to weave up the unruly lemon cucumbers, but so many. I want to show you the back side of this Sugar Rush Peach. It is one of my very favorites, and there are tons and tons on there, and I need to harvest them. I like to wait till they turn that peach color first. Dragonfly. You know, dragonflies eat mosquitoes. Yep, little known fact there. Well, maybe it's a common known fact, but little for me. Oh, those got eaten by something. So we need to get those off real fast. We are testing the sprinklers because something is not quite right here. So as I go, you'll see some sprinkler action in the background. Here is my echinacea, so pretty. And on this side, I like to put on this west side of the bed, I like to put eggplant. And then we have right there and over here some snapdragon. I cut it way, way, way back. And you can see it's starting to come back. Really pretty yellow. That thing was like a 4-foot circumference of that bed. It was crazy. So it will come back more. Volunteer flowers in the path. Of course, it wouldn't be my garden without it. Okay, this is my last bed to show you guys today. This one is my cherry tomato bed, and it is wild and crazy. And it has one other kind of tomato, I think Dr. Wykes, that's not cherry, but everything else is cherry. And I love it. And look what I just got off of it. Sun gold. We barely had any tomatoes yet. So I'm still like really reveling the novelty of fresh tomatoes. We have not been overwhelmed by them yet. Not at all. So more calendula and lots of cherry tomatoes. So that Dr. Wykes is looking good in there. Yeah, again, falling down ones, but they look for the most part like they're doing all right. These don't seem to be falling down quite as bad as the other beds. You see this new hat? I am an affiliate with Farmers Defense, and if you use my code Scofield Farm, you actually get 10% off of your order. I love this hat. This is a new one to me. It has bees and flowers. I had another one that had sunflowers that I wore so much I wore it out. Like I wore it even to soccer games. I love these hats, wide brim, super comfortable. I wear them gardening and all over the place. So wanted to share that with you. You can stack my code onto other sales. You just can't stack my code on other code. So check this out if you're looking for a hat. I will have the link in the description below. Another volunteer zinnia in the path, of course. This is the other side of the cherry tomato bed. Yes, yes, it is wild. No, it wouldn't normally look like this, but that's what it looks like this year. And blooming dill. You know, usually I see a lot of ladybugs on my dill, but I haven't seen a whole lot this year yet. I wonder if I'm just missing them or if we just have a year of not as many ladybugs. And I cut these back in a prior video and they're already starting to bloom again. They're such a pretty snapdragon. I love that one. And more volunteer zinnia in the path. Here's another one. Oh, I think I already showed you this. This is the one that's like a salmon color that I definitely need to save seed from because that is unique for me. Guys, please tell me I'm not the only one with a garden that got out of control this year. I know I have reasons. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I really have had legitimate physical issues, but it feels a little humbling to show like all of YouTube and whoever wants to watch this for years and years to come that my garden literally looks like a jungle because we water it in the middle of a very dry, brownish, golden surrounding. That's just this year. Thank you for joining me. I can't wait to show you August. Maybe, just maybe, somebody will have done some pruning, but I don't promise anything at this point. If you like garden tours, I have an entire folder. I've done one every month that we've done YouTube, and I will link to last month's garden tour so you can kind of see the difference. I'll see you over there.